Well, hello. Hi everyone, thanks for joining the stream. I am Reho. I am a game developer, and on these streams I work on Office Management 101, which is an upcoming tycoon office building office management game. So the usual, let me fix my sound levels here. So I can hear myself talk better. So how's everyone doing? I'm doing good, as I say every time, I guess. But I'm pretty positive fella, I feel like. So what's been happening in the past week or so? Let's see, football. Lots of football in Estonia. Lots of drama around it already. So it's been fun to have that back. Hopefully, it won't end up with anyone getting infected by the coronavirus and the league stopping again. But the statistics here in Estonia are pretty promising these days. The virus is not gone yet, but we've gone down to numbers like just a few infections being discovered every day, compared to the peak that we have. That's like quite an improvement. So yeah, even though I'm still trying to be careful in my life, since the virus is obviously not totally gone, and we'll still have to wait and see how the more open policy will play out here, because people definitely are more careless now. I see it everywhere, in the store, just looking outside the window. Even my parents came over this weekend, even though they've been diligently keeping away. But they couldn't wait any longer. They wanted to see me and my brother, and they just came over. So we hanged out outside and tried to keep our distance. But still, definitely was nice seeing them after all these months of lockdown. Hopefully we'll all be fine and healthy after this. So anyway, what am I working on today is I'm going to be continuing off where we stopped last time. So let's quickly switch to my desktop here. Well, I'm off camera here. That's better. Kind of shift around a lot during streams, and then the camera does not follow me. So, like the stream cover that I had last time was like something like this. So I'll try to keep an eye on that, but we'll see how that works out. So anyway, last time I was working on some game mechanics here, and what I ended up with here was something that like we have a grid. Oh yeah, to start off, even what this is. This is the mechanics for making your new products for your own company in the game. And you get to rearrange elements of engineering, testing, and design within a grid that is predefined for different product categories. So I'm moving this outside now, but in a game you would move the elements around within the grid, and the way you arrange them affects some things. Damien, hi. You used to be Richard Man on YouTube from Argentina. It's a holiday there. So thanks for coming over to Twitch now. And yeah, since I'm affiliated to Twitch, I don't stream to YouTube anymore. I only upload the streams after the Twitch affiliation. What's that called? Basically, they don't allow this to upload the streams to anywhere for like 24 hours after the stream has ended. Which means there's a bit of a delay before I upload the YouTube recording of those streams now. I've usually done it on let's see, Thursdays, I think. We also have Justin again. Nice to have you. How is everyone doing? How are you doing? I'm doing good as usual. Continuing off where we stopped last time. I'm gonna quickly explain where we ended up for anyone who didn't catch the last stream or who didn't see the ending here. And then I'm gonna switch on to trying to design a user interface for those mechanics. Also, you can see well in the bottom here because the camera is hiding it, but maybe move myself. Let's see. So it says my trial expires in 7 days. So that's why I kind of wanted to. Continue this off as quickly as possible and not leave it to next week, because next week it would have been expired already, right? So that's that. And also I was kind of excited how this mechanic thingy ended up last week. So anyway, so what I decided here is that we have a various shaped grid. Say it could be something like this, or I can show a few more in the game. Just give me a moment here. So when you switch the categories for the product that you want to design, the grid shape also changes. So that's just like an example. I'm probably not gonna keep these exact shapes for the grids, but it's an example of where we're gonna go here. I'm gonna remove this part though. So all this is the old interface that I want to change. Okay, back here. So basically we have a various shaped grid, and there will be like holes where you can't place things into, and I colored them gray here, but in the game they will just be holes, as you saw. Well, pretty much like here are these. So when you group the same kind of components together, like engineering and the same level engineering together, then they combine into a single task, and I list those here. Same here, these combine together and these combine together. So when they're next to each other, doesn't matter how many of those you have next to each other, they will combine into a single task. And if they're separate, say like this, then these will be two separate engineering tasks. So that means you'd have to do more work for the project to complete it. So that's one mechanic here, but you also need to take in mind the rows. So what I ended up coming up with here is that you sort of have each of these lines and rows affect certain demographics. So I named them children, adults, and seniors here, and short versions here. But there might be something else as well, depending on where we go from here. That kind of categorization would work probably, but I might go with something else instead, like say income levels, or maybe like a combination of those. So that part is still open, but that's not as important as some of the other stuff right now. So just imagine there's some like grouping of your potential customers, and each of those groups has certain like things that they like and dislike here. And I don't think I mentioned it last stream, but say if we had a bigger grid, like I don't know, 5, or let's say like 7 by 5 or something, we would run out of these categorizations. So I think I'm gonna leave some rows without those, and some columns as well, and some might repeat. Like there might be several rows for children, several rows for adults, and so on. And same with columns then. And each of those rows might affect like a different like bonus or negative like bonus for that grouping of people, if that makes sense. So in these examples here, so testing would affect children negatively here, or like the willingness of children to buy or be interested in this product. And on the other hand, like say on these columns, if there's testing here, then the seniors would like it. So the way you place these will affect what the different groups of people think of your product. So if testing is in this row, oh wait, this is design. So if testing is in this row here, then it will affect the ratings for children negatively, but it will affect the ratings for seniors positively here. So that's kind of the basics for this mechanic. But the question mostly now is, how do I fit all this information within the screen? So as you see on this example, it's kind of the space for all this is kind of small. So let's quickly switch to full screen here. So if we check it in a game, if I zoom out a little, then it's not a problem as much, because then the height of this pop-up window is a bit bigger and it's not as much of an issue. I could easily fit in much more here, but when it's zoomed in, then the space here is quite limited. So I'm not sure how well I can fit everything in, but that's pretty much what the stream today will be about then, trying to figure that out and then make something of it. So I'm gonna use this as a base for it. So I'm gonna save this as a new file. And I think what we can do here, since I'm gonna remove these components, I'm gonna leave only schematics here. And then I'm thinking I'm gonna move these tasks on the side. Probably here. And I feel like that would be fine with a scroll bar. Let's quickly see that in the game though. So the old mechanic also added tasks based on some things. But say, let's make a screenshot of this actually, so I can test out some width. So let's paste that here. And also, I guess I can keep the game open in the background. So engineering is the widest one, but I might even shorten this, like use ENG for engineering and I don't know, like DES for design, TST for testing, and that way we can keep the width of this even smaller, and then it should fit in this box. So to make working with this a bit easier, I'm gonna crop this, and then what I'm gonna do is resize the pixels. So what's like the 1 pixel size here? It's 3 by 3. 3 by 3 is kind of hard to resize, but what is it? That should be 310, right? Oh, this song. Yeah, it's a new song. I worked on this last week off the stream, and I think it came out exceptionally well. It's kind of different, and it's like really unfinished at this point. But I really like the direction it took, and I feel like I learned quite a bit making it, especially like chord progression wise. So yeah, it's like a cheerful one. It's less jazzy and more. Wait, let's play it again, right? Winamp. So I'm still kind of using some of the techniques that I use in some of the other songs for the game, but it's more like it conforms more to how like your average pop music, average maybe is not the right word, but you know, like pop music would work when it comes to chords. But yeah, so you feel it. It still fits the game. Yeah, probably, and I'm gonna keep working on this. Either on or off the stream, we'll see. And maybe I'm gonna try and make the drums maybe a bit less in your face, kind of, and more jazzy, or at least more like subdued. And then maybe it would fit the game a bit better. But I mean, I could make like several versions of the song and have one for one purpose and one for the game background. Yeah, I'm quite happy how it's coming along. And yeah, I mean, I don't always like the music and the stuff that I do, but every now and then I stumble on something that I feel like I can be satisfied with. Okay, so, but today we're not making music, we're making the user interface. So I'm kind of bummed that we're losing these small icons here. I do like these, but they don't fit the new mechanics anymore. And I'm gonna use these instead. So first off, what's our grid element size even going to be? So this is 21 by 21, but that's maybe even too big. Because we don't need to fit all of this in there anymore. These icons here used to indicate the type of the task. So testing, engineering, design. I'm not even sure which is which. I guess this is engineering. And maybe this is testing and this is design, since it's packaging. Anyway, that doesn't really matter anymore either. So wait, what is the size of this one? So this is 14 by 14. And this was 21 by 21. Like, the smaller we can make this, the better. So let's remove some useless stuff here. This thing. Is this also 21 by 21? It is. So there's like two types of things we need to show for each of the components then. And that's the icon, which is 14 by 14 size, or even actually it can be smaller. It can be the same as here, which is 12 by 12. And then we need to show the level as well. So I guess we can just start drawing inside one of these and then see where we end up. Or should I make a copy, because this one has some examples of how I could approach this. Okay, like one thing that I could visualize, I guess, is wait, where's this? Is like which of the components are combined. Or do I? I mean, I could use kind of the same thing as here. Put borders around it. If they're combined, and then that should be like clear enough. So I need a sad song for the game to... Says APL there. I don't remember that sad song in SimCity, but I can look it up later, yes. Thinking if I have made any sad ones for the game yet or not. There's a bit of let's call it melancholic. Let me look it up. I don't have it in the playlist here, but let's see. I've made quite a number of songs already that I don't exactly remember each and every one of those from the top of my head anymore. Okay, so let's try. It's not exactly sad, but it's kind of more moody, definitely. But yeah, I will definitely look into that. The more varied the soundtrack is, the better, I think. So, and yeah, definitely, as the chat is saying here, I think like basing the likelihood of the songs played based on some game parameters would be it would be a good idea in general. So I don't know. Let's try and draw inside here first, then. So what's this size? This is 14 by 14. Wait, there's so many layers here, though. Let's make a new one. So what if I wrote the level text just on top of the icon? Could you still see the icon properly? let's do all 3 of the icons to test it out. Not from here, but here. But it pasted hidden behind those thingies here. So it's kind of off center. And then the bug, which is for testing. It's hidden again. Why troll me like this? Okay, so we have these. I can already see that like this is black, so writing black on this will probably not be good. But we'll see. Maybe I'll use some different kinds of colors then for some text. So copy merged, and then paste it here. Doesn't even fit inside here properly. Yeah, this is not it. This is not gonna work. It blends in too much with these. So then what? I could make the size uneven, I suppose. How would that look like? So say it's like this, or something along those lines. But then there would still need to be room for the borders if I want to indicate the combining. and then that border can't be. It would mess with this text here. Unless the border and the size of this is bigger, like this. That's 16 by 22. I'm not liking that idea either. So then what? Also, when it's higher rather than wider, then that's still a problem, because how do I well, there's more room like on this axis than on this one. So that's not quite it either. And it probably would look better if it was square rather than a rectangle. So there's different options I could use for showing the levels. Like, say, I've made some examples here. But the problem is that that's not really that clear. Though, if it's just like small text like here, then it also might pose problems when translating this. So level is definitely not level in every language, right? In Estonian it would be, I'm not even sure what the proper word would that be. I don't know if there's like a literal translation for that word for in this context anyway. So then what? I could just remove the L character and just leave a number, and then I could try and fit that in somewhere. Or do I show it visually then? then it leaves a question of what do I put in the rest of the box that would be empty. So this is quite hard actually to figure out. So let's take some other things into consideration here as well. Like show this information here. I would also use icons of some sort. So I mean, I could just draw faces for children, adults, and seniors, or like some like either faces in this style, but that's kind of hard to tell if that's a grown-up or a kid or whatever, or in this style, but then again that's even like less room to play around with. Definitely I can't use text to show these groups of people. So it has to be some sort of an icon, but yeah, I'm not sure what kind. You know, it's not impossible that at some point I will decide that this mechanic is not suited for this pixel art resolution, and I will have to come up with something else instead, which would be a shame a bit. Because I think this mechanic has some potential for interesting gameplay. But yeah, if it's not clear enough, then it's not clear enough, and that's that. So say I go with this style after all. What do I put up here? And what do I put down here? Okay, I could use similar icons as these. for showing how they affect the groups of people. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, I'd have 2 of these icons then, though. Would those fit? Which layer are those anyway? 7. Yeah, I can fit 2 of these. So one would be for the row and the other would be for the columns. So in theory, you could have like combinations. Or when it's neutral, then I guess there could be another icon for neutral. Using background colors for these is also fine, I guess. Then just leaves the question of, do I put anything here? If I don't, then that leaves more options for localizing this, maybe? Like if maybe there would need to be several characters here, then it would fit better. So let's make a copy of all of these, I guess. Copy merged and paste those. Oh wait, don't want to copy everything here. And let's put them in a well, I messed up in all kinds of ways here. Where was I? So copy merged. I did just a copy and then I pasted into a new image instead of new layer. Here we go. And if I just remove these icons here, what does it look like? Now when I when I move these, over here, and how's that? Gonna leave some empty space here, but I don't know. Well, it's definitely not pretty. Maybe it's because like if there was just one icon here, then it would be better. I mean, visually this looked better for sure. So questions. Let's take a look here again and could go through the unresolved questions I still have here. What do rows and columns affect? Demographic interest, maybe. Yeah, I'm pretty much decided on that already. So that's true. What are those demographics based on? On age? Most probably on age. Because drawing income level icons would probably be harder than drawing age icons. So create shapes where it. Are there more holes to move into? Yes, and probably some by hole I mean pretty much like this. So you have more flexibility to move these around. And you don't have to fill all the spots in with some of the products. So higher level projects have bigger grids. How do I fit them in without a scroll bar? Still figuring that out. How to force more tasks into higher level projects. That's pretty much what this mechanic does already anyway. So basically by different grid shapes and demographic bonuses. And there's another parameter that we haven't discussed much here. If we open the game and check in here, then all of the projects that you work on and all of the tasks, they also have like quality levels. And what they affect for working for other companies as a contractor is basically the satisfaction of the customer. None of these projects have requirements for quality, but sometimes the client has demands for quality, and if you don't meet them, you get paid less, or you get some like negatives out of it. So that's kind of the quality mechanic for the contract work. But what about make your own products? And I was thinking that they would also affect the demographics here, but maybe in a different way. Or if it does affect the exact same way, then we could go into like percentages of points here. Like if you have this layout, then it would give these points for each of the demographic groups. So seniors get 2 points for testing here, no negatives. Where's the seniors? Because there's no engineering in this row. And then children get 1 point for the design here. And actually 1 minus for testing here, so it would be 0 for children here, wouldn't it? And adults get no bonus for engineering, and also no negative bonus for design. So the only ones that would get points for this would be seniors. But what if I made it so that you might not get these 2 full points if the quality of the tasks is low? So say I don't know, both tasks that these points are taken from, these two, let's say you 50% them, then you'd get 1 point instead of 2 for seniors. But I'm already realizing that it's not a good idea. Switching back to game here. Like there's task quality, but there's also like overall project quality, and that's shown here. And I think the specific task quality shouldn't be a factor for anything except like calculating this full quality of the project, or the average, or whatever you want to call it. So that means maybe there's like a better way to approach this, or do something with the quality parameter. So also I haven't mentioned it here, I guess, but marketing also. But I think I have that kind of figured out. I used to have marketing in the game previously, like years ago. It was really early on in the game, or in the development process. And I think that's gonna stay kind of the same. So basically you have like a certain amount of each demographic groups of people in the country where you are trying to sell your products in. So I don't know, let's just put some random numbers down. Somewhere. I don't know, let's make a copy of this. So, demographics, I guess. So there's like a certain amount of children, say, like what's a good amount to work with here? I don't know, like 1 million children, then I don't know, 5 million adults, just some random numbers, so 3 million seniors. Like normally probably a country's population would be kind of different, but whatever, let's say it's like this. Then that's like the maximum amount of people you can sell your product to. But not how many you actually reach depends on your marketing. So the more marketing you do specific demographics, the more, or like the bigger percentage of these people you can reach. And then a certain amount of them will be interested in buying it. And there's also trends, probably, at least those used to be in the game, which change over time. So, you know, some product might be more popular for certain periods of time, stuff like that. Let's make it clear that this is an example. So you wouldn't probably even reach normally like 50% of any of the demographics, unless you do like some crazy marketing. And then say you reach like 10% of the children via some marketing campaign. And then the question is that reach the people that will buy it then, or is it the people who have heard of the project? or the product. And I don't know if there should be like differentiation of those. Like, does that add anything to the game or not? I'll have to think about that a little. But also, okay, so let's say you reach 10% and those 10% buy it, so that's like 100,000 products sold to children. All right, let's take seniors, because this product is for seniors only. So you sell to 300,000 seniors. Also price. Now I'm realizing price has to affect something. And the quality then. Like in softwaring, I think the quality means low quality means that you have to do bug fixing later on a lot. So from this point of view, that might mean like lots of negative reviews, lots of returned products. So I guess I can write that down. Low quality means a lot of returned products, which then rises your costs. Raises costs. Support costs. Because maybe you have to replace those faulty products. Maybe you have to recall if it's like dangerous to the customer or something, like the battery explodes or something along those lines. But I leave a question mark here, or a few. So people buy it, but they don't like it, and that's what the quality affects. And then negative reviews will also affect the marketing. Like as for the long tail of the product, I guess. But then what does price do? So if it's cheap, okay, then I'm thinking that there might be like a differentiation of marketing reach and actual sales. So say you do marketing, you reach 10% of seniors, 300,000 people, but the willingness to buy it for the people will depend on trends and price. A combination of those then. So if the price is too high, less people of those that you have reached will buy it, and vice versa, and the same with trends. So if the product category is popular, then you can sell it for a higher price. And if you set the price to 0, for example, then like all of the people that you have reached via marketing will grab your product. And then production might also be a factor. So stocking stocking the stores where the product is sold. So basically you have to produce like a certain amount of products to meet the demand, but if you make too much, you may have some leftover that you have nothing to do with. That's sort of a thing. So yeah, lots of ideas here, but none of those help here though. Oh yeah, one thing that I haven't taken into account here is the production cost of the product. So maybe production costs. I should note that down as well then. Let's move this up a little. Production costs. Okay, anyway, so maybe what if I put production costs in the column here? So instead of demographics, like having design in this row, would raise the production costs. So let's play around with this idea a little. Wasn't gonna work on the game mechanics today specifically because I wanted to work on the UI instead, but since there's some unanswered questions here still, and that kind of ties into the UI, then I feel like I should figure that out first after all. And what if there could be like negative cost in some stuff too? Actually not. because you might end up with something that costs 0 or less to produce, and that doesn't make sense. So I guess there should be at least like some base cost for all the categories, but you might end up making it cost more. So to switch it up though, let's say some of these have a plus sign, not a minus sign. And it would only have a minus sign if the so it has only a plus sign if there's like 3 rows, but if there's like more, then it would work out. Or then it would have more like minus signs as well. Although I'm realizing that for more interesting like puzzle elements, maybe these costs should be on rows instead, and the demographics should after all be in the columns. But let's play around first and then we'll see. Okay, let's move these all out of the grid and then try to see if this is even an interesting puzzle right now. So the idea is to have as many points for all these groups as possible with the least cost and the most combined tasks. So that would be the ideal case. So that means we need engineering on this row. And this is fine because this adds no cost. But then already here we're facing a question. If we want to add costs to the product, and like if I place this here, we would add engineering costs, and at the same time it would be one task though, because these combine, and it would add 2 points to the seniors. Then let's try to figure out adults. We place the design where? Well, here. And then it's a question of, okay, do I split these up into 2 tasks? Or do I combine them here? And also we add costs. So, you know. So this would be a hard project to pull off. We would have 1 engineering, but 2 level 2 design, and 2 level 2 testing. We'd have 2 points for seniors for design, and for adults and children all get 2 points. But it would also add 1 cost, 1 additional cost in this column, 1 here, 1 here. So out of the maximum 6 cost points, it adds 3. So, I mean, there were some considerations here, but I feel like the puzzle was more interesting before. Okay, so what if I concentrate on some other factors here as a player? What if I want to make the project as easy to make as possible? Then I would place the design here, testing here. So no additional costs here, only 1 cost here. And only none here. Okay. So it would be a cheap one you make, but mostly the seniors would like it, and the others would get 1 point. And the tasks combine, so it's easier to create from that perspective. So this it still does give you some like things to consider as a mechanic, I guess. But the negative point effects kind of were a bit more interesting as a mechanic. But how would I show that visually then? Like this column indicator would probably like have something on the top row here. That would include the icon, and then like a dollar sign, probably a bit smaller, but whatever, with a plus. Maybe aligned a bit better, but and the icon of whatever would be here. then there would be like a break here, like some spacing between this and whatever else. Okay, I'm starting to get some ideas here. What if the icon for the demographic is really small? Like say like this. And then let's give it a try. Just copy over this stuff here. Let's put another one here. Let's put another one here. To make it more interesting, let's copy this. I would not use these specific icons for this purpose, but just to show the size of these. This probably should be black. So just bear with me here. I have a thought where to go from here. Just need to kind of draw it out. So, is this enough space or is it too small? Like to draw a dollar sign, for example. kind of. I mean, I went over the borders anyway, but... What if I make it black then? Then it doesn't really look like anything anymore. Guess I could use some variations of color. Nope. Okay, let's keep it like that for now. Then there would be some space between these here. Not exactly this much, but I will move this up. And then there would be, I guess nothing up here. So let's move this a little too. So what does this even look like then? Let's remove the bottom board here too. And the same here. something like this. Let's add some more rows here. Another one probably wouldn't fit. It looks like not without the scroll bar. Just barely, but leave it out for now. And then on the side, I can probably add another one in. And then just move these around a bit. I'm also realizing that the scroll bar, even if it does exist, probably shouldn't start at the top, but at the same height as this. Then the tasks would be listed here. Those I can copy from this image. It is kind of too wide, but I can just remove this text, I guess. Hey there, Nep. Dab on them haters, you say. Who's hating here? But yeah, I don't know if I made a dab on this on the stream yet. I'm not even sure I know how to. I'm old. So I'm not up to date on all the modern memes, behaviors, the dance moves. I don't know, like I know what a dab is, but I don't know if I could pull one off. All the gosh darn memes. Yes. The APL is threatening to quit the stream if I dab, so I won't. But I assume that you'll go to sleep at some point anyway, so maybe after that I can do some dabs. Some of them dabs. So if I display this information this way, then it doesn't take that much room, and I could even make this part wider. And just has to be wide enough here that it fits level 10 and projects that have more than 9 tasks for this. So 10 to 99, I guess. So let's try that out. So say 33 and then say about this much for 0. So as long as this fits, then it should be fine. Except for, I guess, again, if we go back to the translation problem, then this might be wider for some reason. So they would be listed like this here. Then let's move this stuff around a bit. And then I can copy these. He can't quite fit 2 in. Then just 1, I guess. That's still something. And then let's move this back to here. And thing is that sometimes we might not even have a scroll bar. Like if the grid looked exactly like this, then it wouldn't need one. So then this part would be wider, I guess. So we put this here. And these move over here. That leaves a bit of room for them to be wider in some cases. And also in this case there would be no need for this scroll bar either. But sometimes in some rare cases it might be needed. So, so is this something to work with then? Let's save. Then let's talk about what's even going on here. So I started thinking that maybe the rows and columns could be like a mix. Wait, that's not the right layer. That's not my layer. But which is then? Is it this one? Nope. Nope. This one. There we go. So just as a random example, let's say these green icons mean, I don't know, children, and these mean seniors, these red ones. You know, just as a random example. So anything, oh, it's all engineering now though. So I should copy some different icons from here as well. Okay, so we have some stuff now. And let's say only these 3x4 grids are active here. Like, let's ignore the rest and then kind of try to figure out what's going on here. So I was saying, this would be seniors. I guess I could make something positive for the seniors. Then, so any engineering that you put here gives points to seniors, but also engineering on this row and this row would add costs. Any testing This column would add costs, but any testing on this row would take points away from children. So this is again just like a random example, but if there's like a mix of money and tastes and whatnot thrown in here, then maybe it makes for a more interesting puzzle. Yeah, just to repeat myself here again, this would be the production costs increasing for engineering. This would be the children liking it for testing, children liking it less, and this would be seniors liking it less for design and so forth. So what's like the upper limit of this kind of a system then? So what's here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 columns and 4 rows. So there's like 40 to play with, which would mean that the maximum amount of tasks that a product could have would be 40. And I'm not sure that's quite enough. So it is likely that I will have to resort to adding more rows for higher level projects after all. And I guess I'll have to live with the scroll bar then. It's not ideal, but if this first row stays in place, then even if you scroll, then it kind of is something. Just to throw something inside here as well. I'm gonna copy some of these. Should put some next to each other as well, just to show how the combining would look like. That would remove the border here. So pretty much something like this. Just more of them, and the icons here would be different then. But at least that's like a direction to go towards. Also the top part here. I can replace with the real top bar here. So where is that stuff even? Okay. Okay, I just noticed something that this is kind of higher here. Let's try to work with it and see where it goes. So I'm guessing I'm gonna have to move all of that stuff down a bit. So I might as well copy the whole top part here. Another issue that I'm noticing is that it's not as wide. But since there's some space here, then that's fine. Just have to remove some stuff here. I wonder if the height is even correct. Still kind of messy here. scroll bars. Those were here. Nope. Here. How many pixels do I need to move these down? One, two, three, four. Then the same here. Now I need to fix this corner. Anything else? The OK button probably isn't in the center anymore, but that doesn't matter. There's something here too. Is this it? There we go. So I guess this is kind of what it would look like layout wise. And the next step would just be starting to implement it, but I'm not gonna do that on the stream today. Also, I would have to draw icons for the demographics then. And I'd have like a hover pop-ups, tooltips for these that would explain a bit better what's going on. Like I'm thinking now that what if I move this here? That's the wrong layer, this one. If I move this over here and this icon over to here, then it would kind of make more sense that this icon indicates the column and this one indicates the row, and I do the same with others, and you know the space here will be kind of an issue, but it's still better this way, I feel like. Okay then. I guess we're done for today. So let's start wrapping it up. It will be kind of a short stream today, but we can do those every now and then. And I know like pretty much no one will watch the 3-4 hour streams on YouTube later anyway, so maybe if it's 2 hours, then it's a bit better. So I feel like, yeah, figured out how I'm gonna do the UI. There might be still some things that I think that come up that I did not think through, but I feel like I have a direction there, and the main challenge now will be to figure out how to make the demographics icons in a way that they're understandable enough, sort of. So thanks guys, girls, whoever you might be, for watching, and we might see you again some other time. Then I will be back on next Monday again. What is it? 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. GMT, and 8 p.m. Estonian time. So yeah, goodbye. See you and stay frosty, all.